Hey, what's up mga tol? This is Tall Fry and today we'll be taking a look at the Medicom Mafex Venom comic figure. I originally didn't have any plans on picking this up, but ever since they announced the reissue along with the 75 Spider-Man, I was like, why not? And it also felt kinda weird having Carnage and Spider-Man, but not this guy. So I just decided to pick it up while it was cheap, and then maybe I could sell it if I didn't really want it afterwards. So, it's time to see whether this guy is worth it. For the packaging, you can see it comes with this nice window box packaging, and I'm really liking the purple vibes we get here with this Venom themed color art. Also in the corner, we see that he has that box art that they do with the corner of comic books. And we also have some labels and a very nice picture of Venom right there. At the top, Venom, Amazing Spider-Man, and you got some Venom logos and head. At the sides, you have more Venom photography and Venom labels, and even Amazing Spider-Man there at the side. At the back, we have more product photography featuring the accessories that he comes with. Below that, some warnings, labels, choo choo choo. And below that, warnings, labels, choo choo choo, and Medicom toy holographic sticker. So without any more talking, let's get this bad boy, or bad boys, out of the packaging. And getting him out of the packaging, I just have to say that this Venom figure looks so clean. Like, so clean. Let's take a closer look. So zooming in on the head sculpt, I think it's pretty dead on the money actually, compared to the artwork that they based it on, which I think is like the older years of Venom, like when it was still a classic version. So looking here, he has no nose, he has no ears even, since I think that's part of the jaw. And I just love the colors because they pop out here. Obviously the base is like a black with some touches of blue, but the white eyes, the white teeth, and the red tongue, they all turned out pretty good. And of course, all around, it's just one bald head. But for simplicity's sake, it's executed pretty well. There's even a wash on the teeth. There's some parts that are just a little bit weird, like how the outline of the entire mouth is kind of white. Like, I thought that should have been reserved for the teeth only. But yeah, it is there. And then moving down, we can see that the rest of the body is basically just black with the blue touches. And I think compared to the first version of Venom, the blue touches are much less. Honestly, I don't have that one to compare to, but with this, what I have in hand, I think it works out pretty well. It really gives it like that comic-y vibe. In terms of muscle tone, Venom is quite the muscly guy, more muscly than Spider-Man. Then with the clean white spider paint apps right here, I think it turned out very well. Just some paint mishaps here and there that they just go overboard or underboard in case of the black specks. Even under the armpit, you can see that's the seam line right there. The back also looks pretty clean, just some minor imperfections as it goes all around. We have a Marvel Tramp stamp right there. He also made sure to add the white trapezoid on the hands. And then moving down to his legs, he got some beefy legs, boy. And I'm not sure how visible it is on the camera, but there are those tinges of blue to make it stand out just a bit here and there. And yeah, at the bottom of the feet is pretty plain as well. So for Venom's articulation, in his head movement, he has that peg that has a kink in it, so you can adjust that accordingly so that he can look up and down as much as you want him to. Right now, I have the kink allowing him to look up much further, so that's a really good amount. Looking down is also still good. You have swivel, and you have also really good head tilt, and forward and back movement as well. Now for the arms, it's also really good because you can go beyond the T pose, like even a near Y pose actually. He has butterfly joints, which work very smoothly, and then you can also make him go all around with the strokes. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows work very great, and you also have the hinge and swivel for his wrists. When it comes to torso movement, he can bend forward that much, which is actually a really good amount. Backward that much, which is an even better amount. Torso tilt is also very much possible, and then there's independent swivel movement between the diaphragm and the waist joint. You have drop down legs for both sides, by the way, and some slight thigh swivel, and allows him to kick up to the 90 degrees, maybe even beyond. No, not really, just up to the 90 degrees. Back is not all that much because his butt is hard. And for the splits, you can do the decent 45s. Double jointed knees work wonderfully, no butt kicking though. And ankle rocker, hinge, and swivel work perfectly with some toe articulation. And for accessories, we don't get a whole lot, but I guess it is more of the simplistic kind when it comes to these earlier comic book figures. We have 5 pairs of interchangeable hands, some fist hands, trigger finger hands, web grabbing hands, clawing hands, and magnetic hands. Now we also have an interchangeable pair of feet because these are also magnetic just like the other pair of hands. Which is cool, you can let the figure stick to your metallic surfaces to make it look like he has the wall crawling ability. By the way, the fist hands are on pegs because out of the packaging, Venom comes out with these like semi-clawing hands, which look okay. Then aside from those, we also get 2 alternate heads. The first one is his face where he's just smiling, just like on the cover art, and it's pretty similar to the other head, just without the open mouth, and I kind of think I like that one better since it has the red to break the color of the just black, blue, and white. But this one's okay too, it ups the creep factor when he's stalking his prey. It still has that clean paint apps, of course. And then we also have an unmasked head, which comes with a corresponding neck piece. So this is the Eddie Brock head. It looks pretty memey, like those eyebrows though. He looked like Will Poulter. Then he has some very French fry looking hair. And yeah, he looks angry just like a guy like Venom would be. And then this is like the symbiote going down. Then the rest is just a bunch of webs. They gave us 2 very long webs and 2 medium-sized webs. Neither of them can be called like short. And compared to Spider-Man's webs, these like have a lot of tangles. Yeah, they look really curly and tangly compared if I just get Spider-Man's webs here. Here, see, it has the handle, and then a lot of them just come out of his wrists, so they have those loops. But yeah, with Venom's webs, they're all like really curled up and like very twirly, so to speak. I think you can kind of use these for both characters anyway. So yeah, it's like this is the Twister Fry flavor, I guess. They're all painted pretty well. I just kind of wish that Venom came with another head sculpt. 3 head sculpts isn't really that far from normal when it comes to Medicom, especially one with the tongue coming out of his mouth. That would have been iconic Venom, and I would have had him post with that for sure. And for those of you asking, the magnets are technically strong enough for it to support his own weight. See, no wires or anything. Venom stands almost at 6¼ inches, which is kind of shorter compared to what I was expecting. For size comparisons, here's Venom next to the original and reissue of the Mafex 75 Spider-Man. Here he is next to the Sentinel Spider-Man and Mafex Carnage. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Wolverine and The Thing. And with this Thing figure, I kind of wish that this was closer to the size that the Venom would have been. I'm just really more used to my Venoms being like monster Venom size. Here he is next to the SH Figure Arts Mandalorian V2 and the McFarlane Toys Spawn. And last but not least, here he is next to Carnage and Spidey, all with their unmasked heads. Now, comparing him to Peter, I kind of wish he was taller, because he's clearly taller than Spidey already. I just wish he was, even bigger and more menacing compared to the stature of Spidey. And even comparing him to Carnage, it's kind of weirding me out that Carnage is taller, because Carnage is supposed to be slimmer and lankier, but taller, I'm not sure about that. In conclusion, this Venom figure is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Venom was never really my favorite Spidey villain, and so I was in no rush to get him. So believe me when I say that having this in hand now, it's just beautifully simple. Paint apps, muscular build, smooth joints all combine to make a solid figure. But with that in mind, I still don't think this will be my definitive Venom. I like my Venoms bigger, taller, more monstrous, and with the tongue lashing out. Even some tendrils on the figure wouldn't have hurt. So at the price of around 3,500 pesos, I think this Venom figure is good and worth it if you prefer the classic version or if you're an avid Spidey collector. But if you like the more modern version like me, then this may be a 50-50 pickup or pass. But what do you all think? Is this Mafex Venom the Venom figure for your shelf, or are the other options more viable for you? Let me know in the comments down below, and like and subscribe while you're at it. Share this with your friends and be good people, I guess.